Welcome back to this week's episode of Whoscussion. We're going to be doing for part B, the next story in Dark Eyes, The Traitor. I don't know what this has to do with the Dark Eyes arc. I guess we'll find out next episode. And then we're going into The Fairmonger, which is the first 7th Doctor and Ace Big Finish story. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to that sick ringtone happening in the background there. Playing down some fat beats. The Traitor.
My washing's done.
The Traitor. The late Crow, take us away.
Okay, so we're back with the 8th Doctor. So we're finding ourselves on the sort of Dalek-held slave sort of planet. What's it called? How do you pronounce it?
Nixius? Nixie 7?
Something like that.
Niche?
It's a place where Daleks using slaves to build a weapon.
Where do they not? Let's be honest, they don't have hands, alright?
Yeah. Can't do a lot with just suction cups, as the comedian Eddie Izzard pointed out. I don't know if you've seen that sketch.
I absolutely love Eddie Izzard. I have seen that sketch.
Yes. Okay, so we know that there's some mining stuff going on, and there's an explosion, and the place caves in, and then we're reintroduced to Livchenko, who the 7th Doctor stopped some robots with, and that was a good time.
Robophobia, correct?
Yes. It's a very good time.
Is that a monthly strange story?
It is, yes.
Awesome.
So we'll end up covering it eventually. Anyway,
Eventually.
In like 141 episodes. Something like that.
Oh my
Something
god.
like
Doctor Who is going to take up the rest of my life, and I'm so happy.
As am I. But no, back to the Traitor. So, Livchenko is working alongside the Daleks to kind of keep the human slaves alive, because as she explains, she'd rather be alive, and she wants to keep other people alive, to keep hope alive. But unfortunately, the Daleks also know this, and they're totally exploiting the shit out of that, because as the Dalek time controller says, a human workforce with hope works harder. So
yeah, I love the time controller so much. He is like proper evil, but like he's almost gentlemanly though. It's really crazy. I love the time controller.
It's great. So explosion goes off. It's trying to rescue some people, save their lives. And Livchenko says, these people need proper medical attention. I can't really do a hell of a lot down here. I love that she just bosses Daleks about, totally.
Yeah, and they can't really do anything because she's the best medical professional they've got.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, the Dalek time controller himself has said, you guys do what she says. And so all the little Daleks have to do what she says, and it's great. And she gets to boss them about. I love it. So yeah, she goes, I need medical supplies, like now, while you're still there, go get me medical supplies. And she does what she can, then realizes, oh shit, this isn't quite enough. Yeah, I need your hospital, guys. I need to take over your Dalek hospital. We need to fix all this out. And so there's this one person who is later revealed to be like the revolutionary god person of this workforce peoples. There's the person, the Hawk. That's what he's called. Yeah. The Hawk. And Liv doesn't know it yet, but as she's trying to ship him up to the Dalek ship to get hospitalized, a couple of other humans come along trying to stop her taking him, and she totally rips into them, just going, guys, you're being dumb. Just like, you realize we're being surrounded by Daleks here, and if you kind of put up a fight, you're gonna die. You're gonna get him dead. You're being dumb. And they basically had this argument all the way up to the Dalek ship, really. It's ongoing, and I'm pretty sure Liv's getting pretty sick of explaining herself because she has to run a track record with these guys. But long story short, they eventually get up to the Dalek ship, and the two other people are crapping themselves, and the Hawks is
they were acting so hard previously, though. Like, it's so good.
While all this is going on, the Doctor has landed on the Dalek ship himself in a in an area where the Daleks are making humans kind of their slaves, robotified-ish.
Yeah, the Robo-Men.
It's funny that they're called Robo-Men, given Livchenko's last story.
Yeah. Big finish, eh? Bastards. Yeah. How dare you be good at writing?
I know. We have to put up with what's on screen. Kill me. So he's nosing about, and a lone Dalek who doesn't recognize him, just kind of goes, "Oh, you're Okay, you're a person that's kind of running straight. Let's chuck you in a robotification machine. And the Doctor pretends to be robotified.
Paul McGann's performance in that is so good.
Yeah.
Oh no! Ah! I'm being converted! Ah! The Dalek's like, haha, I'm successfully converting this man. That is what's happening right now.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. It's Paul McGann. It's just, can he narrate my life, please? Yeah. So now the Doctor's running about with a headset on that makes him kind of just a part of the background, really. So the Daleks are really. I love how when the Daleks find out that's what he did. They just kind of have totally have a crap fest. It's like the Doctor's on our ship. We're screwed because eventually they find the Doctor turns his TARDIS to invisibility mode, which kind of makes you wonder why he doesn't do that more often in the show.
Why doesn't he do that more often in Big Finish as well? He used it like once as the second Doctor and once as the 11th. That's a long ass time of not using it.
Who really needs it? Let's be honest.
But because it's invisible, but obviously it's still there, the Daleks kind of go, there's a thing going on. I love that the Doctor forgets that he's got it on full power and the Daleks totally detect the power. It's like, oh crap, better turn the power down a bit. And then the Daleks just go, oh, the power's gone, it doesn't need to be an issue. And then the Dalek time controller totally calls them out and not checking on it later.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? And they're like, dude, we're not as well programmed as you are. We're still just Daleks at the end of the day. And it's like, that's a fair call. I'm with you guys in this one. That is a fair call to make.
Yep. But still, go and check on what that power source was. Go check that. It's kind of important. So they work out that it's a time capsule because it's kind of dripping with energy from the vortex. And so not the Dalek time controller, but the controller of the general ship is like, it's from the vortex. Okay, let's totally ramp up what we're doing here and work out what the hell this is. And so they're doing that. The Doctor bumps into Liv and the other fellows, the Hawk and the other two, in the hospital room, and the other two, I can't remember the names. What are the other two?
I just called them other two the whole time. I remembered Hawk and the other two guys.
The other two guys.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. They're just the other two. Sweet. They sort of had a bit of a shock and start to attack on the Doctor because they assume that he's one of the robo people. And the Doctor's like, I'm totally not. And you guys need to up your robo acting, by the way.
Yeah.
You guys don't even have a headset, and you're not. What are you doing? You're not good actors. Get on that. And he calls him out on that and goes, oh, Liv. And Liv doesn't recognize him, but he can't be bothered explaining it all right now. He tries, but Liv's not getting it. Kind of understandable in the current circumstances. She's got more on her plate right now than worrying about this Doctor person. Fair enough. So Hawk is conscious now, and the other two are really wanting to get going. And Liv's like, no. But the Doctor comes over and kind of talks with him. And so it turns out the mine explosion earlier, that was totally him. Well, the explosion wasn't intentional, but there were bombs placed out all through the planet because the Daleks are using the entire planet and the mines through it to create this massive ass weapon. And the plan was to blow up the entire mine system and put a stop to things. Unfortunately, one of the bombs went off a bit early, which is what caused the explosion earlier. Lovely. Liv's a bit annoyed at that, obviously, because that explosion caused a lot of casualties and pain, so she's not happy. The Doctor's like, right, let's have the best of both worlds. You're not happy about suffering, but I like this bomb thing. Let's merge these two.
With our powers combined, I am the 8th Doctor.
Captain Doctor, he's a hero.
No.
He's gonna, in a couple of generations, he's gonna be a Messiah complex. Jesus.
And while all this is going on, as if it's not enough, because Big Finish just make it action-packed and it's amazing. Out in the in the outer system of this sort of area they are, there's this unknown fleet coming along, and the Daleks are just they're keeping one sort of eye on it. They only have one.
There it is, one eye. Like, they're keeping one eye on it. Well, they can't do much else. So good.
The Daleks are keeping tabs on it because okay, it's not coming at us right now, but let's keep an eye on that thing. So they're doing that, and meanwhile, the Doctor's going along, just like, right, let's go down to that mine place. Liv, you can order these guys about like a boss. Let's exploit the shit out of that. So they do. and get back down to the planet into the mines and start nosing about to try and work out how to set these bombs off without killing everybody. So they plan to basically announce to all the people that what they're going to do so they can clear out, and then they're free to go exploding things. Awesome. And while back on the Dalek base, the Daleks totally find out it's a TARDIS. Well, the Daleks don't. They just find out it's a time capsule, and the time control is just like, oh crap, that's the Doctor's TARDIS. Oh boy, we're in for a fun time, fellas. It's like, right, Daleks, all of you, I've got memories from when I last faced this Doctor. Here's the information. Go and find him now.
Yeah, I love that, eh? Like, he's like, got all these memories, and the Doctor's like, how the hell do you have all these memories?
Yeah, I exist outside of time. Yes. So, the Daleks get down there to go and find the Doctor and that, which they do. And so, hold on. Why did I listen to it so early in the week? Because I really wanted to get to it. I'm regretting this. I really should listen to it closer to Whoscussion.
I've learned that as well. Like, you just need to wait a little bit later on, just because of like
Friday nights.
Yeah, because like you've got so much in life, and like as much as we love Doctor Who, you can forget about it throughout the week. But yeah, the Doctor ends up getting brought before the time controller anyway.
Yeah, that happens. Well, how they get there is, by the way, go and listen to the story, and you'll find out for yourself.
We thoroughly suggest that you pick up this entire box set. It's like $11.
Just pick up all of Big Finish, really. That's
yeah. I don't know a single person that has done that.
But they should just be. I think you'll be the first person, if anyone. Yeah.
I'm not obsessed.
Okay, so the Doctor and the Time Control have a chinwag, bit of a. How do I say? How do you still exist? I'm pretty sure we killed you in the last story, and the Time Control's like, no. I mean, I still remember it all, but yeah, I didn't die. Sorry.
Yeah, how did he survive though? That's my question. They'll probably explain it throughout the season.
Yeah.
Because he should have died during Lucy's sacrifice.
Should have died a lot, but this guy, like the master, just keeps bouncing back. So the Doctor's turns out the Doctor's totally 100% aware of that fleet that the Daleks have been keeping tabs on, and apparently it's a force even worse than the Daleks. And the Doctor turned up in this whole event to try and pit the Daleks against these things to try and sort of kill two birds with one stone somewhat.
Like, absolutely kill two birds with one stone. It's kind of a dick move on his part, to be honest.
Yeah. So just like, calm down, 8, your 7 is showing.
Yeah, oh dude, his 7's been showing since Lucy died, like straight up. It's almost like he's the perfect incarnation for a war.
Yeah.
Become one with the 7.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, they totally managed to set the explosives off down in the mines, but didn't quite get time to warn everybody about it. So there's a ticking clock going on here, and Doctor's none too happy about that because it's not. His plan isn't going how he wanted it to, and understandably, that's quite annoying when your plans don't go to plan. Especially the Doctor's totally like Hannibal in that respect. He loves it when a plan comes together. So ticking clock countdown, the Dalek time control is manipulating the hell out of him. It's like, well, I could go and I could save these humans. I can save Livchenko. You know, you make the call here. I'm toying with you. I'm loving it. And
he is salivating at the thought through his little coloured mutant legs, like.
Oh yeah, that's 100% what he's doing. And then just as the countdown's reaching the end, there's an explosion, and that story ends. And I threw my coffee wanted to throw my coffee at the wall because I was enjoying it.
What happens next? Gosh dang it! Exactly.
Yeah, and that's where the story ends, and it's beautiful because Big Finish know how to do cliffhangers.
They know how to do a few things actually. The cliffhangers in the next story we're about to cover.
Yeah, they know how to write for one.
Yeah. You could say they would have been the right choice to take over New Who when it was coming back. Yes. They really should have been the ones that took over New Who when it came back, though.
Yes.
Harriet Skelly, your thoughts on the trailer?
It was fantastic. I'm really looking forward to carrying this on. Liv Chenko is actually a fantastic companion, especially her sassiness really works. You know, she's a fantastic. Just Big Finish know how to write characters in general, so yeah,
they seem to be pretty good at it.
What can you say? So that's pretty top. Yeah, Paul McGann again, just fantastic. Just there's, the reason why Part B is so short every week is because there's nothing really bad to say about any of these stories.
We should just say, listen to Big Finish, but play it backwards with subliminal music.
Yeah. There's some real interesting things about this though. The time controller is just a fantastic idea, and they're so ready for him to fight this time war, and this is just adding more to it, and it's really sad that Moffat goes ahead and ruins that whole thing.
Yeah, the time war sucks in the 8.
Yeah, so there's a whole lot. There's a whole lot for this. And just listen to Big Finish. That's really what this always boils down to. Is listen to Big Finish. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Just listen to Big Finish. The Late Crow. Your thoughts on the Traitor?
The Traitor. Yes. It's just beautiful. It's honestly, as far as Whoscussion is concerned, listen to the Dark Eyes or any 8. Listen to any Big Finish. That's like the highlight of my week. Really, it's. I've said it before to you guys, but one of my favorite bits is when the other two, because we can't remember their names, they blow up this lone Dalek while going down to the mines, and they totally catch you by surprise, and it full-on craps itself before it blows up, and the audio on it is hilarious.
Yeah, it reminds me of that Dalek that 3 kills in Planet of the Daleks.
Oh!
Yeah, the one that's like, and then it's just dead.
Yeah.
For a man who abhors violence, I took great pleasure in that. Oh, 3. I love you forever.
Yes, beautiful.
A man who never would.
Did you guys listen to Robophobia as well, or was it just me?
No, you were pretty keen on that one though. You were like, did you say 7? And a prequel to the current story? Listen.
No, I did not listen to it.
No, I really wish I did. I'm going to have to, but we're covering that in like 100 plus episodes. In 100 plus episodes.
That's what, at least 2 to 3 years away?
Yeah, exactly. We're going to be doing, yeah, you can feel it in your fingers. I can feel it in my toes. Ba-da-ba-ba.
But no, just again echoing what was said. Just go and listen to the story. It is beautiful, amazing.
It is.
Well,
yep.
I'm gonna have to echo that. This story, unfortunately, was mostly set up. I think that's why we don't have that much to say, is because it really is setting up the rest of the season. I like the Dalek Time Controller. It's possibly my favorite Briggs Dalek voice.
Yes.
Possibly my favorite Briggs Dalek voice. I love the controller. He's so I love it because the controller is actually properly intelligent. Like, he's capable of proper conversations, which is something the Daleks suffer from as enemies, is they can't really hold a conversation because their whole thing is they're just pure hatred devices. But with the controller, he can be calculative, he can be manipulative, he completely understands humanity, especially that when he was talking about, as we mentioned earlier, when he's talking about how the best way to control mankind is to give them hope that they can survive the adversity of the Dalek threat. But they're not going to. And the Daleks don't even plan on letting them go. But they're going to give them the taste of what it feels like to be free. I'm wondering if the Daleks are even responsible for the Hawk existing. They might have fed information to create this character, so he's like the Robin Hood for them. Like, mankind's like, don't worry, the Hawk's out there saving us.
No, I don't think so. Because he was more like the response to their over the top stuff.
Oh, right.
Some of the time controller who's come in and who's decided to actually show them, that's not really what you want to be doing.
Yeah.
So,
I like that the time controller is just like, hey guys, I'm actually way better at being a Dalek than you are, and you guys are Daleks, proper actual stupid Dalek. And the Big Finish, without visuals, managed to bring this ferocity to the Daleks that I don't think TV will ever get. I think the last time we've ever had proper threatening Daleks like this would have been the Emperor in Evil of the Dalek, which was a good 50 years ago. So it's good that Big Finish have managed to take away the sort of almost child Saturday morning cartoon villainy out of the Daleks and made them proper real world threats, which I think is really hard to do to creatures that are basically just pepper pots with a plunger, and what a difficult thing to tackle. They managed to do it with such grace and like I said before, ferocity. They are compelling threats, and it is hard to do with "you will be exterminated," because the fact that the time controller doesn't just resort to extermination is it puts him a cut above the rest.
Except for that except for that time when he was just out of options and just lost it at the
No,
end.
it was straight with fucking what's his name, Straxus. It was just like, just kill both of them. And both of the Straxuses or Straxi are like, please don't do that. Ah! And then Time poos the bed. The doctor's like, I don't even know what to do right now. So that was fantastic. And it's sad because this season of Dark Eyes is after Moffat announced there's a War Doctor. And I'm wondering how Big Finish are going to like swerve this away from where 8 was going. Because in the last season, 8 was heavily going towards I'm gonna fight a time war. Even though there's that one episode was like, a war between the Daleks and the Time Lords? What utter nonsense! I'm like, oh, my sweet summer child. My sweet summer child. But yeah, the trailer is mostly set up. And the good thing is when you buy the story, you actually buy all 4, guys. So pick up the box set. It's like $11. I think it's even less than that now. Pick it up. It's incredible. If you're one of those people that are all about collecting it physically, it's a lot more than that. I didn't do that because I'm not made of money. But so I definitely suggest the digital option. With that, guys, we're going to go into our last story for this week, The Fearmonger. The Late Crow. Harriet Skelly, take us away.
All right. So, yeah, The Fearmonger. So this is a 7 and Ace story.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And it's a good time. That's all I need to say. Listen to Big Finish. There you go.
We'll catch you guys next week.
You know. Anyway, yeah. So Ace and the Doctor are in, well, I guess contemporary Earth. It's not really contemporary for the time that this episode was actually released, but contemporary for Ace anyway. So it's like was it? They said something about 14,
no.
13 or 15
this episode
years.
did come out in so this episode came out in 2000, but it's 2002 in the story.
2002? Is it 2002 in the story?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it's 13 years after survival.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for.
Yeah,
because it's
15 years after survival.
15.
Yeah,
15 was what they said. Like after he said it's been 15 years after you like left Paradise.
Oh yeah.
Sort of deal.
So after Dragonfire, from her perspective,
yeah,
I like Dragonfire. It was the best story in season 24.
Yeah. Anyway, point is, there's some interesting things going on in England at the moment. There's an election coming up, and one of the there's a Trump basically.
There is a Trump.
There's some serious things going on. It is very realistic of the kind of things going on in present day, just in general, really. That there's always this fear of a candidate who's going to use fear in that way. It's very much played off of Trump, but she's just a lot more intelligent, basically. Anyway, the point is, it's in the beginning. All you're hearing is an assassin trying to kill her, and then like this like sound taking him over and stuff. It's really quite odd. And anyway, the point is,
yes, it is.
Yeah, it's very odd. But once you realize what's going on, then you're like, oh, okay, I understand now. That makes sense. And then initially you're just like, okay. That's interesting. Which is a nice way to lead into a story, honestly, especially if it's only audio. Is just to like only give you enough information to know what's happening, but not what's actually happening. You know, that sort of stuff. Anyway, Seven and Ace have just appeared on the scene. Basically, that the Doctor's is chilling in a radio station, and like talks to the one of the assassins over the radio, and the radio host is freaking out about it. He's like, "Who are you? Why are you staring at me? I'm trying to do a radio show." He's like, "Don't worry about me. I'm all good. I'm just waiting."
I just imagine him like sitting in the corner. It's dark and only light coming through blinds is on his face while he looks at this guy.
Exactly.
Because Seven is actually frightening.
So yes, he is. But yeah, he's easily doing that. He uses his time on the radio to talk to the one of the assassins, who they eventually manage to find, thanks to Ace and a friend. They find him. He runs away. He's talking stuff about hearing stuff, because Big Finish, they know they're an audio story. They need to know what they need to do. They know what their medium is. Unlike somebody. Anyway,
I can't possibly think what you're talking about. How I just did a drink this maple syrup that randomly appeared in my hand.
So, they managed to finally track down this guy. Find out what the deal is. The doctor explains that there's that the thing that he's hearing that's that the other assassin that was also captured is hearing, the doctor had also talked to. They had 2 hours for the story, and they managed to pack so much stuff in that we don't even know the first instance of when the doctor started talking to these people. That's how much is actually going on in the story. It's so much.
We
it's
had
great.
2 hours in part A. And I still don't get it.
Yeah, no one gets it. So yeah, it's amazing. And you know, they're only even working with audio. So what does that tell you? The point is, there's this creature that is it came from. They not sure exactly where it came from, but they theorize that it came from a planet that developed a bunch of organisms that had fed off of particular emotions. This one in particular, it was fear, and it landed on Earth. And Ace makes a joke about, I wonder where the lost one went, and yeah, hilarity ensues. Anyway. The point is, as we continue, the doctor figures out a way of basically a way of like getting this out of a person without killing the person, because even if they kill the person, it's going to jump out anyway, which the assassin's not too happy about, but he accepts the fact that he needs to kill the creature because he thinks it's a monster, because it's making people afraid of things and doing bad things to do that, even though the doctor's totally fine with letting a terrible regime come into power. He's just about killing the bad thing.
Yeah, I need to kill this monster, but the evil politician, that's your guy's bad.
Yeah, exactly. There's some nice little points in there where he talks to Ace about how that humans needed to sort their own stuff out, and like it's not all bad. Like 30 years ago this would have been normal to happen, and now it's not, and that means that we're getting progress. And Ace is like, okay, but in like the next 10 years, America's going to mess this right up. And he's like, yeah, I know, but I'm not going to tell you about that. Anyway, we continue on. Yeah, there's just a lot that happens in this. I'm going to give you some more cliff note. There's another, I guess, the opposition. There's some. As part of the assassins, there's another group of people who are trying to stop this group coming into power, and have been doing a lot of property damage to try and make people afraid that they don't want to vote for these people. And you kind of throughout this, you're kind of wondering, where's this creature actually hiding, because you think it's in this other guy, and then it's in these people, and there's another person who's using a voice manipulator to sound when they do their terrorist, we're taking what's the word? We're taking the blame. We're taking
our responsibility.
We're saying that we did this. We admit that Anyway, the terrorist is using his voice when he's recording his confession about it. He's using a voice manipulator that makes it kind of sound like he's infected with the creature, but he's not. Other people are, and the guy who is the assassin is the only person that the doctor trusts at this point in time to know who's got the thing in them, because he's the one who can hear the voice in people's voices. So the doctor's found a force field that can go through normal people but kill the creature if it gets them. Yes. We're up to that point. There's another group of people who use that voice manipulator, who uses a voice manipulator, so that's why they kind of think that it's them as well. Eventually, the doctor tracks them down, and with Ace, they talk to them, but then they shoot Ace because she's being cocky like Ace is.
Yeah, you won't shoot me. Boom. Oh shit!
Yeah. So she gets up in hospital. The doctor's not too happy about it, but he's working on a plan to try and find out to get rid of this fearmonger. He's working with Ace's friend, who's infiltrated the bad woman's party, and got into her press team. She's going on live with the radio host from before, who is actually part of the opposition. So it's interesting that she wanted to do that. But anyway, she does. They set up the force field around her. They use it on her. It doesn't work. So they think, oh, it's actually in the radio host after a phone call from the assassin and Ace. Ace and the assassin leave the hospital and run to try and find the doctor, as he doesn't manage to use the force field on him. And they do manage to use the force field on him. It doesn't work again. So he's like, oh, okay, this is really odd. But anyway, we're going to go through a riot that's currently happening because everyone's freaking out because of all the explosions and property damage, all that sort of stuff. There's riots going on. They're walking through the riots as the radio host is being like on the spot live sort of deal. He's getting massive ratings from it. It's great for him. They end up.
But they set his car on fire though.
Yeah, they did. That's gonna suck. They end up running through town through the riot to a meeting of the party guy. Can't remember what his name was. He's like the assistant for the main leader, and the leader of the terrorist group on the other side.
Was it Walter?
I think it's something like that. He was fantastic. Whoever he was, he was amazing in the story. But anyway, they get to a meeting there, but luckily the radio guys left his phone on to continue broadcasting live, as the guy basically confesses that he paid this terrorist group to blow things up so that he could make more fear and thus end up with her being victorious. And then once he finds out he's recorded, he tries to say that she had nothing to do with it, but no one believes that. And we're all good. But then during all of this, Ace has finally started to pick up on the voice thing that's happening, and then she starts hearing it in the doctor's voice, and she's just like, well, this is probably the worst thing that could ever happen. So she's freaking out. She gets the force field and she manages to lay a trap for the doctor. But then when she finally does it and talks to him about it, he manages to lay some fat truth bombs on her. And it's basically like, yeah, so that voice, the thing that's happening with the voice is not actually you hearing the creature in that person. It's the creature is actually in you, causing you to hear it and making you afraid. And she's like, oh my god, that's actually truth bomb. And she force fields herself, kills the creature, and she's like, wow, I'm dumb. But thanks, Doctor. We're all good now. And that's pretty much the end of the story. It was a wild ride. There's actually a lot more in it, honestly, though. Like, that is the bare minimum of cliff notes to the story. It was proper 2 hours long. Like, you need to listen to it in full, and it's so much better. Like, if you go ahead and watch Sound of Drums, Lost of the Time Lords, and then listen to this, you'll instantly know which one of them is better. Like, there's no contest, like, at all. There's no contest.
Yeah, I love that the monthly range follows classic Who's format with the 4 parts.
Yeah,
really good.
Absolutely.
Because they're like, hey, that format actually worked really well. Let's do it as well in a monthly range. And the monthly range is using the Classic Doctors, right? Classic Doctors New Adventures. It's the whole tagline for the monthly range. So I'm just like, you guys get it. Like, Big Finish, you just get it. And I love that, like, the actors were willing enough to come back. I'm glad Tom Baker came back in the end. He was like, oh, I don't want to do the silly radio show. And then he, like, was, like, invited to do the 50th. And it was like, I want to do millions of them now. And now he's got his own box set range, which is great. So good.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab the Late Crow's thoughts, come back for Harriet Skelly's, and then I'll wrap it up in a nice little bow. The Late Crow, your thoughts on the Fearmonger?
Yeah, the Fearmonger was a joymonger, I guess. It was just, as with all Big Finish properties that I've listened to, it is a joy to listen to. And like Harriet Skelly before me, I can't possibly hope to try and encapsulate everything in my comments, because it's just impossible in the time frame we have and what that had. It's
no, 2 hours for part B, let's do it.
Yeah, well, your software manages that.
Well, it's been managing this pretty well. And last week's was a hell of a ride, let me tell you.
That it was. Right, but yes, this is a fantastic story. I love 7. 7 is my favourite. Any excuse to listen to 7. I love that he totally does the 7 thing of not really laying the truth bombs until the most impactful moment possible.
Yeah.
But he holds them in his pocket for a long time before dishing them out.
Yeah.
But that's just 7. in a nutshell. It just even with Ace, just he does it all the time. And he did it in Robophobia as well. Just he knew entirely what was going on the entire
Seven's
time.
the great manipulator, and it reminds me of was it Demas? Yeah, in Demas when 8 is just like, I used to be the great manipulator, and I don't want to be that. And then Darkeye season 1 happened, and
he's like, man, I really needed to be there, didn't I?
Yeah. Maybe Lucy would still be alive if I was the great manipulator. Who knows? And that's maybe my own family members would still be alive if I was the great manipulator. But what ifs? What ifs? Anything else
There
you
were a
want to
couple
add?
of moments. There were a couple of moments that made me laugh. Just when the doctor's saying about how he doesn't like hospitals, and all I could think of is, well, you're gonna love when you find out how you next regen.
Okay, so he doesn't just say he hates hospitals. He said also, I hate the idea of dying with my back on a hospital bed.
Yeah.
It was so good.
They were like,
Big Fell's literally referencing his regen.
Yeah, that was too good. Their first ever 7th story, and they were like, we're gonna do this. It's just fantastic.
Yeah,
it was the only way.
It was the only way.
I can't really say much more except go and listen to this. There's like pause Whoscussion now, go listen to it, then come back.
Go and then come back.
Yeah.
Harriet Skelly, your thoughts on the Fearmonger?
Yeah, basically that's it. Just go listen to it and come back. That's all you need. Like you only need to listen. It's so good. There's so many fantastic allegories to nowadays, and it was printed a couple of years ago as well. So it's pretty amazing that's the case. It's
a couple of years ago, more like 18 years ago.
Yeah. So
they got it right. They got it right, guys.
They absolutely got it right. But at the same time, it's also like it's really standard, the idea of a candidate being able to pull this off is just turning someone into fear, because it's straight up like Nazism is what happened, like that's how the Führer became a thing, is because he riled up the population out of fear of both what happened in World War One and just immigrants as well. It's just a way of and the Vendetta as well is also another solid example of this. So it's just they utilized so many different things to pull this together, and it's so good. So good. Big Finish. Just come back. Right for New Who, please. Right for New Who, please.
Yeah, if Chris blows up in his own face, can you guys take over? I hope you don't, though, Chris. Like, I'm actually holding out hope. I'm holding out for a hero.
Please don't.
Hero to the edge of the
night, and it's gotta be strong. Let's not get copyright strikes. We probably won't, because I'm totally out of tune. One of my favorite moments in this entire story is when Mick Thompson, he goes, and audience members, let's give a warm sig hail to Sherilyn Harper. And she's like, I'm sitting right here, man. He's like, I know. Like,
I know.
Yeah. Did you remind me of one of my favorite moments? It's right near the beginning where the doctor's in the radio show, and just when the radio host thinks he's getting rid of the doctor, and just, I'm going to take some calls and get away from you, and Ace answers.
Yeah. Look, if the professor's there, I need to tell him something. And he's like, oh god, really? It's fantastic. And I love how like people are trying to do stuff to the doctor, but he's just like, I work for unit. Like everybody can't do anything. They can't even touch him. He's just like, I work for unit. Shut up. I work for unit. And they're like, oh. And like even with Sherilyn's what was the fella's name? Was it Walter? Whatever his name was. He was I should remember that. He was
Walter Jacobs. Was that the guy?
Walter Jacobs. I
There's
don't
a guy.
think it was Walter.
No, I think.
Wait.
Hang on, is it Stephen Kessler? Stephen Kessler was a London resident conspiracy. No, okay, never mind.
No.
Hang on, Walter Jacobs. Walter Jacobs was a London resident and a friend of Stephen. No, so it was it Paul? No, Paul was Ace's friend from Perivale.
Yeah.
Hold on, Roderick.
Roderick, yeah.
The brother's name was Roderick. I can't believe we forgot that, because he's so amazing. And he's played by Hugh Walters.
Yeah, there was a bit of a behind the scenes where we're all just scrolling down the cast.
Yeah. I'm just like, we need to find it. Anyway, the actor Hugh Walters, who plays Roderick, is actually incredible. Every scene he was in, I wish he was in the scene longer. He was just so good.
Exactly.
And like when Sherilyn's just like, why do you support me? And he's like, I like a politician that believes in what they're saying. And you actually legitimately believe in what you're saying. You're not lying. You're telling people how you actually feel. It's like, yeah. And it's like, I like that. I like that you can back your shit up. So I'm your friend. She's like, sweet. All right. Cool.
Even though that I really wouldn't do this myself, but sure.
Yeah. I like how when you find out he created the terrorists just so that people would vote for Sherilyn. So I created the terrorists because I thought people would feel safe with Sherilyn. The doctor's like, that's kind of genius, man, actually. Like, my hat off to you. My scary straw hat. It actually reminds me now, that reminds me of Liv Chinker in The Traitor. She goes, you're not the doctor. He looked different and wore a straw hat. And Ace like, I just told you I look different now. Oh my gosh. Man, I actually want to go back and listen to The Traitor again. So yes, the Fearmonger is fantastic. Everybody said just go pick it up. There are just really, really great character moments. I also love that Seven knew that Ace's friend was going to betray them. He like had already prepared for that. It's like, oh, your friend's going to betray me, so I'm just going to prepare for that. It's just like, Seven, come on, that's ratchet. Like, making Ace lose faith in her friend even though you knew it was going to happen. That's sad. He's a cold
not as
brother.
sad as the time he made her lose faith in faith.
Oh, I lost that. Sorry, what did you say?
I said not as sad as the time that he made Ace lose faith in him in order to
Yeah, that's right. In order to kill the demon. And this is years before they did God Complex as well, like a good 11 years. But it also was fantastic how he goes, are you afraid of me, Ace? And Ace is like, yes, I'm shit scared of you. And it's just like, it's so good because like Seven's like, that's right, you are a freak. Because Seven is Satan. Like, he just is. he is a frightening man. I think one of my favorite moments of him tormenting Ace is like, hey Ace, you know that baby that I may or may not have been held responsible for making, like, that was your mum. Deal with it. And she's just like, what is wrong with you? And he's like, I was sick and tired of you. I hated my mum. She's like, yeah, so I fixed it. She's like, did you though? He was like, I sure did, kiddo.
You're gonna love what I do to you later on. Drop you in one of the worst places ever.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave you on Gallifrey and then go and die and start the time warp. So have fun with that. So yes, that's it, guys. All we can say is pick it up. It's an incredible story, and we'll catch you in next week's episode when we start doing the Sarah J. Smith adventures. See you then.